So, days after he was released, Patrick Clark, otherwise known as the Velveteen Dream in WWE's NXT, spoke out about everything that's been going on over the past year with him and his accusers of, over what he's being accused of. And a lot of people that have talked about the statement that he put out about this have said that pretty much, everything checks out. That he's checked off, I should say, all the boxes that are needed to, cover his side of the story, basically give his side of things that happened. But the question ultimately is, though, is it too little too late for Velveteen Dream, aka Patrick Clark? And when you actually compare him speaking out about about the accusations against him and the accusers that are accusing him of what he's done, or potentially did, basically, when you compare that to Joey Ryan, David Starr, and Marty Scurll, and even current WWE Raw superstar Matt Riddle, when you compare it to them, at least they spoke out when the accusations happened. Patrick waited till afterwards. And the silver lining for them is, mostly for three of the four of them, is even though they'll have asterisks next to their name, promotions, believe it or not, will potentially, and this is the truth, potentially take a chance on bringing them in. So they still have the opportunity to get back into the wrestling business, despite the fact that they have not stepped foot in a wrestling ring or stepped foot into the business since they spoke out about their accusers, accusing them of what they said that they did. And some people have said, or at least in their opinion, have brought up the fact that even though after speaking out about the accusations against them, that neither Ryan, Scurll, or Starr have stepped foot back into the wrestling business whatsoever. And a lot of them feel that because of that there might be some truth to those accusations, even though Joey Ryan, David Starr, and Marty Scurll have spoke out against that and said, no, none of that is true. And again, that's the silver lining. That's the silver lining for them. That by doing what they did, speaking out about the accusations against them, when those accusations happened, it opened the door. It gave them a little sliver of hope, if you will, that they might get called upon to come back into wrestling and take part in some kind of event down the line. Whether it's an indie event, whether it's something part of AEW, Major League Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, whatever the case may be, they still have that chance. It's a sliver of a chance, but they still have that sliver of a chance and an opening, granted to them. Because they didn't wait to speak out about their accusers and the accusations against them. Matt Riddle, he's staying with WWE not only because he has a new contract, but he was willing to take the punishment that he needed to take because he spoke out about these accusations against him, and he was willing, like I said, to take the punishment that would be afforded to him, and that's to job out for quite some time until they felt, WWE, his punishment was met up enough that he could finally get back on that winning track or semi-winning track that he used to be on and get back into that upper echelon of upper mid-card, potentially lower, main event potential down the line. But when it comes to Patrick Clark, a lot of people feel that he's not going to be afforded that opportunity of even having that sliver of a hope or opportunity or sliver of a door opening for him to go elsewhere because he waited. He waited. And here's the thing. Even when WWE told him not to say anything, let them take care of it, he still should have at least told WWE, hey, if you have any faith in me, if you have belief in me to be your next big star, let me take care of this. He should have at least said, hey, if you're going to basically groom me to be your next big thing here in the company, let me take care of it. Let me take the responsibility of addressing this. But he didn't. He just did what they told him, and that's stay silent about it. And even though they come out and say, oh, we pulled him off TV because he was in a car accident, a lot of people pretty much, sum that up to the fact that they took him off, not just because he was in an accident, but mainly because they wanted to try to, I guess you could say, lighten the situation, kind of basically, hopefully, believe that by taking him off TV, these accusations would go away. They would just drift away, and then they can get back to business as usual. But that's not what happened, because people saw through it. And even when he came back and they tried to turn him heel to kind of say, okay, people look at him as a heel, let's make him a heel, it still didn't work. And basically because of that, even though they should have released him when the accusations happened so he could take care of it and then potentially bring him back, they waited too long, and Patrick Clark waited too long to speak out about it until after he was officially released. And now a lot of people feel that it's too little too late for him, and he's not going to be afforded the same sliver of an opportunity or hope or potential sliver of a door opening, to go elsewhere, because he waited. He didn't, speak out when the accusations happened. He waited. And like I said, the big difference between him and the others that I mentioned, 3 of the 4 anyway, is at least they now have a sliver of an opportunity or door opening in front of them to potentially get back into the wrestling business, either it's at an indie event or it's part of a major promotion in the near future. Well, Patrick Clark, he's probably going to have to wait until this whole thing clears up, until either he is proven right and that he is indeed innocent in these accusations, and maybe WWE brings him back, or if he's proven guilty and he may have to serve some kind of sentence or some kind of punishment. He's just going to have to wait, and so will all the other promotions, including WWE, that might want to pick him up and bring him in. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's too little too late for Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream, because he waited till after he was released to speak up? What are your thoughts? Do you think the others that I mentioned have a sliver, just a slight sliver of an opportunity opened up in front of them because they spoke out when the accusations happened to them? What are your thoughts on this overall? Let me know down below, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. But what are your thoughts? How do you feel about this? Again, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments and during the live chat during the premiere. And I will talk to y'all later.